Hello everyone, and welcome to the third lecture of this self-knowledge course, in which we will be learning everything related to astral projection or astral unfolding or astral travel, as we could also call it, because it is all the same. We will see what it is about and how useful this practice is for our inner work. Also, we'll see what we can do with this tool, and we will disprove some misconceptions that exist in relation to this practice, and we will see different techniques to achieve it and all the steps to do the practice, of course. Remember that if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments section and we'll be happy to answer them. You can also join our WhatsApp group, where we send all the free materials and information related to the course. Below, you'll find the link to the WhatsApp and Telegram groups. So, let's start by explaining why is it called Astral Unfolding. It is called unfolding because it consists of taking out an internal double or soul. A body exactly the same as the physical one is not of a cellular nature like the physical one, but rather of a molecular nature. And since it is of a different nature, it has different properties. For example, that body can stretch and then return to its original state. So if we are unfolded and we stretch a finger, for example, to check if we are in the physical or in the astral, if we are in the astral dimension, the finger stretches. Also, with this body being of a lighter nature, we can fly, we can go through walls. So if we are in the astral and we jump, we can remain floating in the air. Or if we try to go through a wall or any object with our hand, we can do it. And the reason why it is called astral is because with it we can travel to all the celestial bodies or astros or another planets. The astral unfolding is nothing paranormal or strange. It is actually a completely natural process that occurs every time our physical body falls asleep. Every time we fall asleep, we go to the astral world, also known as the fifth dimension or the dreams world. And we usually do it unconsciously. So here we learn to do it consciously in order to take advantage of this useful practice to advance in our inner work. All the experiences we have there in the astral world is what we remember and call as dreams. When we go to that astral world, as we usually do in an unconscious state, we start projecting our desires and ego, and also we start repeating all the things we did during the day, even if we can't remember when we wake up. The most common thing is to remember those things that don't match with the things we did during the day. Something that is going to help us a lot to achieve being conscious in that astral world is that we make an effort to awaken our consciousness, that we begin to live in a state of full attention and not losing it during the day. And as we repeat during the sleep what we did in the day, certainly staying conscious and concentrating during the day will help us to have that same state of attention during the sleep in the astral world. And for this, we will use the practice of psychological death we learned in the previous conference number 2. Death on march, or death on progress, or ongoing death, we may also call it. So we can be eliminating during the day all the defects that distract us and also make our mind to bake. And also, as our consciousness is asleep, we do not realize that we are out of our body. We do not realize that we are dreaming, no matter how absurd the dream may be. For example, we can see someone flying, and that doesn't call us to realize that we are in a dream. Or we can be in another country or any other strange place or doing extraordinary things. However, many people, even without having heard of this topic, have already experienced knowing that they are in a dream, or even having left their physical body and have seen it lying down in the bed sleeping. Many people call it also as a lucid dream. Well, what can we use astral projection for? First of all, First of all, when we achieve astral unfolding, we realize we are more than this physical body. Then we realize that there are more dimensions besides this third dimension in which our physical body develops. The information that we can obtain in the astral world is unlimited. Unfolding is in itself a very important tool for self-knowledge, and actually we can investigate whatever we want. In the astral world, we can, for example, connect with our own immortal and eternal being. So by connecting with that higher part of our consciousness, we could solve those existential questions, such as, what is the purpose of my existence? What happens when I die? We can investigate our past lives. Also, we can investigate in which of our 108 existences in this cycle we are currently in. We can visit a relative or a friend who has passed away. We can go to the court of objective justice and see the book of our karmic debts. We can meet the superior parts of our consciousness, our internal father and our divine mother. Also, we can verify with our divine mother the process of psychological death. How is the work with certain defects going? We can also visit a temple of wisdom, investigate if there is life in other planets, visit places on these planets. If we don't have a couple, we can ask our being who is that person that is going to help us with the creation of our internal existential bodies. We can meet masters of the White Lodge and receive wisdom from them. We can verify if someone that calls himself a master is really a true master. Also, we can investigate religions and esoteric schools to see if they are pure and good. We can investigate this very knowledge to see if it is true and pure and corroborate everything we'll be learning along this course. These are just some examples of the things that we can investigate in a conscious astral projection. The important thing is, of course, to use this technique for our self and spiritual development. Also, it is good to know that there are several investigations that require certain merits or dharma, so we need to have a certain amount of dharma which we will earn by helping others to awake, giving this knowledge to other people in a free and pure form. Well, now let's clear out some of the misconceptions that exist in relation to this practice. For example, some say it is a dangerous practice. It is important to know that our soul and our physical body are connected by the silver cord, which is an unbreakable and expandable cord that unites both bodies, the physical and the astral, and that can only be broken by the death ray at the moment of the death of the physical body, as we studied in the previous topic. Therefore, the rumors and myths about certain dangers during astral travel are invalid and unfounded, such as that we can stay in the astral and not being able to return, or that when we return someone else could have taken possession of our body. That is totally impossible due to that energetic cord. Some say it's hard to achieve. And the truth is that this practice is possible for everyone, and it turns out to be that precisely believing the concept that it is difficult makes it difficult for us to achieve it, since what we believe we create. Therefore, if we focus on the fact that this is a difficult or complicated or a dangerous practice, those concepts will prevent us from succeeding. If we do the practice believing beforehand that we won't make it, we certainly won't. And if we do the practice with fear, fear will block our access, since the astral is totally related to our emotions. Another misconception is that this is for spiritually advanced people, and that's not true either. We can all achieve conscious astral projection, even though the more you advance in your process of self-knowledge, the more in-depth research you will be able to carry out, but everybody can achieve it. Okay, some say that we should not practice this because it is something negative or diabolical, although it is true that there are malicious people who use this practice for evil purposes, such as stealing energy from other people. The practice will be positive or negative depending on the good or bad use we give to it, depending on our intentions. Here we are teaching this practice to advance in our process of self-knowledge and the development of our unconsciousness. In addition, we always recommend doing this practice asking for the guidance of our inner being, which represents wisdom and love. Well, there are many ways to do this practice, many techniques we could apply, so I list a few that work perfectly. The first is by concentration. This practice consists of concentrating on something, for example, on the rhythm of our breathing or on the beat of our heart, and keeping all our concentration focused on it, while our physical body falls asleep and we begin to feel the symptoms of the unfolding. The second is with the imagination. If we are good at imagining, this technique is perfect and consists of imagining a place in the most vivid and detailed way possible. For example, you can imagine your living room, or you can imagine a beach, and you imagine everything in detail. Imagine the sand, the feeling of the sand on your feet, the seat, the wind, the feeling of the wind on your face, the sun, the heat of the sun. And by doing this in great detail, we will suddenly find ourselves projected in that place, but in a conscious state. The third is the visual of the dream. This technique is excellent for those who fall asleep very easily. It consists of monitoring the arrival of the symptoms that indicate that the physical body has fallen asleep. And if we snore, for example, we can even hear the snoring of the physical body while we are conscious there. We remain concentrated, feeling the body, and we are going to begin to feel several symptoms, and we are going to be able to realize that the physical body has fallen asleep. And we are going to get out of bed in the astral body, and we're going to verify that we are unfolded. For example, giving a jump with the intention of floating. If we are in the astral, we will remain floating, or we could also stretch out a finger, and if it stretches, then we will realize that we are in the astral world. We could even look at the bed and see our physical body there asleep. The fourth technique is practicing psychological death. This is an excellent technique, okay? This technique is very good, because it consists of eliminating all the defects that are manifesting at the moment, whether they are thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, worries, fears, anxiety, all those things that begin to appear in our mind and in our body, and that do not allow us to concentrate enough to achieve the unfolding. So, as soon as we observe any of these details, we are going to ask our Divine Mother to eliminate it, and we immediately return to concentration until we begin to feel the symptoms. And the last technique, which is also very good and very effective, is chanting mantras. It consists of emitting sounds that will generate a certain vibration in our body that will accelerate the unfolding process. Now, I'm going to explain the practice step by step and list several mantras that we can use to achieve the conscious astral unfolding. Well, the first step is to choose a comfortable position to fall asleep. It is preferable to use the supine position, since in that position it is easier to feel the symptoms. But if it is impossible for you to fall asleep in that position, you can choose another. You can see the video right here, so you can understand what position we are talking about, okay? This is the supine position, lying on our back. Well, the second step is to clean energetically. Is to clean and energetically close the place where we are. So we can do this with the chant of Belilin, and the closing we do it with the magic circle of protection. I will be teaching these protection conjurations in lecture number 7. The Belilin chant will cleanse the environment of any negative energy that could distract us from the practice, and the magic circle will close the place so that those negative energies cannot return. Also, these conjurations will help us to avoid the sleep paralysis. Then we ask our inner being to assist us during the practice and help us to succeed. And then we set ourselves an objective to achieve for when we are unfolded. The objective is what you are going to do or investigate in the astral, maybe a past life, see the book of your karmic debts, who is your partner, to meet your inner being, to meet your divine mother, to visit a temple, to know a certain master, and so on, whatever you want, okay? Then we proceed to relax. Relaxation is very important because it puts us in an optimal state so that we can easily feel the symptoms of the unfolding. Okay, we're going to be relaxing the mind, the emotion, and the physical body. To relax the mind, we're going to be focusing on listening to distant sounds in the environment for at least 1 minute, without thinking about them or becoming identified with them. Okay, we're going to listen to them, we are going to let them go, and we're going to be trying to listen another sound that is further. We are going to be doing this for at least 1 minute. Then, to relax the emotion, we are going to do it through a respiratory process. We're going to be inhaling deeply, okay, filling our lungs with this air, and then we're going to be exhaling through our mouth, pronouncing the mantra Tsa. We're going to do it this way: inhale, then exhale through your mouth like this, Tsa. And we're going to be feeling how our emotion is going to be relaxing. Okay, we're going to be getting that state of quietness in our emotion. We are going to be letting go all the tension, all the negative emotion we may have. Okay, we are going to be repeating this as many times as necessary until we feel the emotional center completely relaxed. So we can do this for at least 1 minute or 3 minutes, okay, depending on how is our emotion, okay. Then we're going to relax the physical body. We can visualize how a green bright light relaxes all the parts of our body, from bottom to top, starting with our right foot, okay. You visualize it, feel it, and command your foot to relax and calm down. So you will do with all the other parts of our body. So you start with your right leg, then your left leg, then your back, then the front part of our body, then your right arm, your left arm, your shoulders, your neck, and your face. Okay. If there is any tension, any strong tension, we can directly ask our Divine Mother to eliminate it. Okay. Maybe we are feeling a cramp in our leg, where Divine Mother, eliminate this cramp from me, and so on. After relaxing, then we proceed to use the technique that we have chosen. Well, if we use the mantra technique, there are several mantras from which we can choose to achieve the unfolding. For example, there is the mantra that sounds fa, ra, when we make that sound, we concentrate on the area between the eyebrows, and we can imagine a pyramid there. Another mantra that we could use is pronounced la ras. With this one, we also concentrate on the area between the eyebrows, but visualizing a violet light there. Another mantra that we could use is O. And we do this concentrated in the heart. Also, the sound Om, concentrated in the heart too. We also, these mantras are very useful for people that doesn't fall easily asleep. Another mantra that we can use is the mantra that sounds concentrated in the larynx. This one is very useful for people that falls easily asleep. There are many other mantras to achieve the unfolding, but these are very, very effective. It is important to keep in mind that we should use only one mantra per practice, since each mantra has a specific vibration, and if we change mantras in the same practice, we will mix the vibrations and it will not work. You need to mantralize slowly and lengthening each syllable. You can repeat the mantra out loud about 10 to 12 times. Then you keep repeating the mantra in your mind until you start feeling the symptoms. Well, when your astral body is separating from your physical body, you may feel any of these symptoms. You can feel your body inflating. You can feel that you are floating. You may feel your body swaying gently as if you are being rocked. You can feel your legs and arms raising and floating. You may feel a sensation of electric current. You can feel that you are spinning at high speed. You can feel a noise next to your ears, or you can consciously appear in a dream. What should we do when we feel these symptoms? First, we need to control our emotion and relax. Don't panic or feel euphoric, but relax even more and allow the symptom to escalate. When we feel that the symptom is strong enough, we get up and we check if we are already unfolded. And we can do this by jumping with the intention of floating, or stretching out a finger, or trying to go through something with our hand. If upon checking you find that you are still in the physical body because you didn't float or your finger didn't stretch, then you return to bed and continue using the technique until you feel the symptoms again. If, when you stand up to check, you remain floating or your finger stretches, it means that you are in the astral plane. Then you remember your objective and go for it. Well, as you can see here in the video. And well, this is the practice of astral unfolding or astral projection. The secret is to practice with a lot of patience until you achieve it. Remember that wanting is power and the practice makes perfection. Well, in our next topic, we will be studying lecture number 4. Titled The 7 Centers of the Human Machine. We are going to learn what is a center of energy, what are their functions, what is the actual state those centers currently are, how to align and balance these energy centers, and how to correctly manage the most valuable resource we have, which is our energy. So thank you very much for being here. See you in the next lecture. Remember that if you have any question, you can leave it in the comment section down below, and we are going to be very happy to be answering and clearing out any doubt you may have about this important topic. So thank you very much again, and see you soon. Bye.